live? Are we live? Hi everybody, I'm Alicia Dianne. Welcome to my channel and welcome my brand new daughter or doctor. This is Skipper. She's a golden doodle. She is 9 weeks old. We just got her last week. So I've been out for a little bit, just had to pick up this little girl. She's such a sweetie pie. I got her all the way from Oklahoma. Say hi. Say hi. But she's a sweetheart, so if there's any barking or something happens, you know, I have to run off in the middle of our taping today. You guys know why. I have a brand new 9-week-old puppy who is going to be watching us today. So, without further ado, we're going to get started and get back to our work. Oh, I was looking for this folder. I don't know where that was. Okay, so we're going to get back to our work. Let's see where we left off. We have some pages here that we can definitely get started on. Some fun pages. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start with this one and see how far we get. Hopefully we can get a good little amount done. Let's see. Let me pick out some of the brushes I'm going to be using today. I'm going to be using our Micron brush pen. I'm going to be using probably a tiny pen, probably, let's see which ones I have. I have 01, 02, and 005. So at any point where I need something super thin, I'm probably going to be using these, but I'm going to be mostly using the brush pen. Let me also check my previous illustrations because I have taken a few weeks off from this. I did some work on it last week, but I had to take some time off. Like I said, I was out of town. A lot of things were going on, getting a new puppy, all these things. So, let's see. Okay, so as a rule, background things are brown. So I'm going to also need my brown brush pen. I feel like I need to sneeze. At any second, I'm probably gonna. Excuse me. I knew I had to sneeze, but I didn't know like if it was gonna take a minute. Excuse me. There I go again. Alright, so how many of these things do I have? Alright, so let's see. These I'm not gonna be doing live. I have a couple that I'm not gonna be doing live. Okay, just want to make sure that I know where I'm at. How many folders? So anyway, put these back. Put these back. I feel like I need a tissue now after that sneeze. 1 second. Skippy! My Skipper is very rambunctious. My cat is not really sure what to think of her yet. But there's plenty of room in the household for both of them. Hopefully, I mean, Skipper seemed pretty curious about the cat, but the cat is not, was just like wide-eyed and like weird when, when we brought her in. Now she just kind of like is avoiding the whole situation, but it's alright. It's better than her like, you know, being straight out mad. So I'm gonna switch to you. Let's see. Come flip it. Just gonna take a second to get the proportion right. So bear with me for one moment as I can figure this whole thing out. Onto my stand. Hopefully a connection there. Alright, so good. Seems reasonable as far as my I think that's reasonable. It's not perfect. Let me see about this. That feels a little bit better. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start with my brush, my black brush pen. And just doing the hair and whatnot. It's really hard. I had to like debate whether or not I was even going to be able to come on today, just because I haven't had a puppy in a long time. Like, it's been some years since I had a puppy, and like, by years I mean decades, and I really hadn't remembered how I guess difficult it is and how time consuming it is. Like, she always wants attention, which I love because I needed something to give attention to. And she's really curious at this stage, and she's sniffing around a lot. But I was like debating whether or not I would be able to do my live stream with her around, because I was kind of nervous, like that maybe she'd be too busy, maybe she'd be crying like she just started doing right now. What's the matter, Skippy? I call her Skippy for sure. You need to use my phone again? Huh? So, sorry, she's she's already seeking my attention. What is it? Huh? What is it? I need to do like an edited version. I think I might have to start doing pre-recorded videos. Because of you? Go get the ball, Skippy. Go get the ball. I don't know. I think she should be ready for a nap though. Hopefully she'll take a nap soon. Because she's kind of been all over the place for the last couple hours. And she just took a poo outside, so. Usually that helps, right? To go to sleep, take a nap. I think so. I think as far as dogs go. Oh, she's smelling the cat food. She's been trying to eat the cat food. I had to put it up so that she wouldn't take it. I don't know why she's so interested in it, but she seems to be quite intrigued by this cat food. Hey! No! No! Don't eat the cat food! Don't eat the cat food! Ooh. See? Those little hairy paws get into a lot of trouble. She's trying to steal my cat's food. So I'm gonna give her her own. This little girl just ate and she's acting so hungry, which is strange because when I first got her, she was acting like not food motivated at all, and it just seemed like all of a sudden she's just growing like a weed. And I was just on the phone with my mom, and my mom was even saying, oh my gosh, she like doubled in size in the last 1 week that I had her, which I don't know if I would quite say double, but she's definitely increased in size in the mere week that I've had her. So, I don't know. I didn't know puppies grow so fast either. Well, I've been watching a lot of blogs on people on different groups and stuff that have golden doodles, and I see they're like huge at 6 months. My breeder told me that she's not going to be that big. So, I mean, I guess it's just like, we'll see. I don't know. She's started growing pretty quick, but I don't know. Hopefully. I mean, I want her to grow as much as she can. If she can be a big girl, then I'm cool with that. I've always liked having big dogs. When I was like growing up, we had a Rottweiler. We had an Akita briefly. Unfortunately, she was kind of wild, and she ended up running into the street. I know, it's horrible, but she was really wild. That was in the 90s, before like spaying and neutering was more common as it is now. So we definitely should have had her spayed, because I think she was so like constantly running away from home. She was always running away. She figured out how to open doors. She would open the refrigerator door, and she would open the front gate, and those were her two favorite things to open. She would open them all the time, and whenever she would open the front gate, she would just, like, that's it, she was off. We tried to prevent it, but you know, it was just us kids home most of the time, and my mom was at work, so couldn't really prevent it all the time, and she would just take off running. And we think that she's probably looking for a boyfriend now. But, you know, those are the things that happen. Sometimes it's just like a high energy dog, and, you know, you're just not really prepared. At first I thought it was just the breed, you know, like certain breeds are just high energy, but that's true, but it's also true that it depends on each puppy specifically. Like, some are more high energy than others. Oh, I think I should have did that with Brown. Some are more laid back or quiet. So I guess it depends. Alright, I'm gonna go skimp down to the 05 to do her. She is still trying to get the cat food. Keep her. Get down. Get down. Get down. I'm gonna have to put it way up high. Doesn't steal it. I think I at least found a place to put the cat food, which is up on her perch. That's like the only place I can find right now where the dog wouldn't be able to steal it. She's still looking at the cat's water though. I don't mind if she looks at the water, as long as she's not trying to steal the food, then we can be okay. Alright, let's see. Oh no, I still have to do the character in this one. If anybody's just tuning in, hi. This is spread number 23. And I am working through just little tiny bit by little tiny bit. I did a little bit of figure drawing before I jumped on here, just to kind of loosen me up. I like to do that just to kind of be sure that, you know, I feel more loose in my, and more comfortable in my drawing. Even now I still like to have the ability to do a couple of rough sketches, get myself loosened up, give me a little warm up. And right now it's a 005 micron that I'm using. She's kind of going nuts with the cat toy, which I guess is good because Miss Daisy the cat never uses it, so I mean, I guess Skipper might as well go ahead and have fun with it. In case you're wondering how I got the name Skipper, I got it from a doll that I used to have when I was a kid. I don't know if you might have had the same doll, but I used to have Barbie's little sister. It's a Mattel doll. She's like a teenager, sort of. And she does like babysitting or whatever. I guess that's her storyline in the Mattel world. But that's where it was Barbie's little sister, and the name was Skipper, and that's where I got the name for my doggy. But also, a lot of people, well, not a lot, but a couple of people know the name Skipper from Gilligan's Island, because I guess the word skipper is also an informal title of a sea captain, which I didn't know for a long time. I always thought it was like a deckhand or something, I thought it was somebody that wasn't that important on the ship, like one of the crew. But no, skipper is the captain of the ship. I was like, oh, that's cool. So she's pretty important, isn't she? She's right at my feet now. Okay, so I'm messing up, and I think I was afraid of this. That can make you like avoid trying to ink your comic. I know that makes me procrastinate sometimes. It's just like I'm afraid I'll mess up my inks. But to be honest, I think no matter how many times I do it, but I think the longer you stay away, the more like scary it is. So I just think you just have to like face it and just do it, and get one of these Pin Touch, because these are also great. I mean, especially you got tiny little details like I'm using here. It's just like sometimes it's just like, oh, it's like I can't afford to be afraid, or I'm never gonna get this thing done. I have so many pages to do, and right now I'm behind on my own schedule, but I'm working on it right now. And I think that's like an important thing to keep in mind, even if you get off track, especially if you're doing like an independent project where nobody's like calling you on the phone to make sure that you got it done, which I really think I need to hire somebody to do that. I mean, I'm pretty self-motivated myself, but if something, you know, big is going on in my life or something else, if I have some like major life events, like I have to, you know, travel 3 states over to get the first dog that I've had in years, I can like, and I have to drive by myself. Oh god, it was a long drive. Speaking of, it was like, I clocked my trip and it was, how many hours was I driving? It was like 60 hours, because it's not just driving to and fro. It's like you drive, you stop, you go to like different areas. I mean, it can be a lot if you're not careful. Or, you know, you have to detour, or you want to detour. Things like that happen, and it's just like, oh, okay, this is a lot longer of a trip than I thought. And you know, we stopped at the Grand Canyon on the way back. I wanted to see it because it's a rare thing when I get to go see the Grand Canyon. I'd only been there once before, and it is a little bit out of the way. It's an hour out of the way, so it makes it a 2-hour delay, because you get it like, instead if you're driving on the 40, you got to drive an hour north to get there, and then an hour back. So it's actually adds 2 hours to the trip, just driving wise, you know. Then there's, you know, the actual visiting of the location, so that's like a whole other thing. But I have no regrets. I'm glad I went. It's beautiful. You know, we only stayed for like an hour. Alright. So But I don't know, I'm not afraid. That's the thing, I'm not afraid of road trips anymore. I used to kind of be like, ugh, 3-hour drive, that's forever. Now it's like 3-day drive. I got this. That's kind of how it is now, though. Even though it was more than a 3-day drive, it was 4 days each way, which is kind of long by most people's standards. Kinda. And I'm gonna switch now to my smaller pen. Skippy, aren't you ready for a nap? Aren't you ready for a nap? She finally lays down. I think she'll actually take a nap. I think she'll actually take a nap. And I'll show her to you guys again after the video. It might be a little bit of a shorter one today. And then, you know, while I'm on this sort of maternity, low-key maternity period of my life, taking care of an infant canine. I feel like I'm on maternity leave. But I'm glad I came on here with you guys, because I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I kept like doubting myself. Like, I don't know if I can do it. Can I do it? I haven't recorded in a long time. I want to record. I miss recording, but like, is it even possible? It's the first time letting her roam around the apartment. I was nervous about that, especially with our cat not really liking her that much. She's doing alright. She's explored a bit, and now she's kind of just sleeping at my feet. Well, not sleeping at my feet, but laying at my feet, which is a start. Hopefully soon sleeping at my feet. But right now she's just laying there. Oh no. Some of these errors definitely gonna have to fix via the computer. But for now, it's a start. Alright, but back to my point, which I highly digressed from. I think I can work independently, but it's like in uneven strides. Like, I get motivated, I get a lot done, I get discouraged, I don't get a lot done, I feel bad that I didn't get a lot done, I get less done, I'm ready to go, and I go. I get in these like weird strides, and depending on the payoff too, like, not money of course, but like if someone notices what I'm doing, or I feel like encouraged by like a comment, or like, you know, somebody telling me personally that my work is helping them, you know, which doesn't happen very much, you know, but when I feel like, I don't know, when I feel like it's appreciated, oh, it gives me a lot of like encouragement. I don't know, it gives me a lot of that fire, especially if I'm in a low point, which happens at varying times depending on what's going on. I'm trying to figure out what that is on the ground. Not sure. What is that? But depending on what's going on, I can feel more or less ready, you know, to take on the work. But I always feel better when I can do it. I always feel good when I can get the work done. If I don't, then it's like, ugh, I mean, it's already hard enough to be like an independent artist. Last thing you need is like yourself in your ear trying to tell you how much you can't do it. You know, you really have to train your mind, or we really have to train our minds to perk ourselves up and to get ourselves going. Because we can get discouraged like fairly quickly in this world, especially when you're working alone, because it's like when you don't see anybody else around, it's like, you know, it's like the opposite of being a performance artist. You know, everybody's, you know, when it's your time to get on stage, everybody's watching you and everybody's clapping for you and everybody's happy that you're there. But when you're just a visual artist, I don't want to say just like it's a little thing, but when you're a visual artist, there's no, you know, crowd for the most part. At least not for most of us. Somebody's gonna be like clapping for you, you know, not until you make it to Comic-Con, or if you make it, that's like our mecca concert. If we ever get to be on stage at Comic-Con, it's like our big like that's like our Madison Square Garden, I guess. If we get, you know, if we make it to have a panel talk or something like that. But other than that, most of the time, you know, it's gonna be just you and the paper, or just you and the iPad, or just you and the Cintiq, you know. And who's gonna encourage you then? It's like you gotta encourage yourself. Even just you and the canvas, whatever you're using. It's not gonna be people telling you how amazing you are. I guess a lot of jobs are like that, but as far as creative art goes, I think visual art is the only one that is like kind of like this, you know. But it's really cool when you can see your own progress and you can really see your own like development. You guys see what I'm doing? Then you can kind of be your own crowd, you know? When you see like, oh wow, I did really good. Like that was really, like it's like a really cool feeling when you make a drawing that you know is good even for you. But it's even better when you feel like you can do it consciously. It's like you're in a flow day, like in one of those days where like your drawings are just coming out right. That's a really good feeling. Because it's not every day, even for those of us who've been doing this for years and years and years, it's not every day that you just have like a good flow day where like they're coming out right. But it feels really nice when you have one of those days. Or you just finished a piece that you're really proud of. You can't wait to post it online. You're like, yes, this is gonna get so many likes because it's amazing. This is gonna be my greatest work. Like you start talking like like you're Andy Warhol at like some New York opening in the 1980s. This will be my greatest work. I've had moments like that. Haven't we all? We all had those moments where we're like, yes, this is it. Just wait till the hiring director at XYZ company sees this. Or XYZ studio. Acme. Insert your favorite studio name in the blank. I just had an orientation though. I always every time I feel like it, when I'm like explaining my new job, which I just started another job. I've been calling it my second job, but it's actually my third job. You know, not including, you know, being a mom, which is like my life. But I started another job, my third job, which is working for a nonprofit. And I don't know if you guys ever seen the MTV show Insecure. My people probably have seen it. But it's a really good show. If you haven't seen it and you're over 18, I would highly recommend it. It's on HBO. It's so funny. But the main character, Issa, you know, in the beginning of the series, she's working at a nonprofit, and it's for kids, you know, and it's called We Got Y'all, which is a silly name in itself, but it just is so, it's like, you know, it's making fun of the fact that, you know, of us, because she's like went to film school or whatever, or no she didn't, I'm sorry, she studied African American history in college, and she's like insecure about the fact that, you know, she's probably not gonna be able to find a job with that. So that's what she says about herself, like, you know, I'm probably not gonna be able to find a job with this degree, but I did find something at this nonprofit. I love giving back, you know, speaking for the character, but at the same time I'm not really making a decent living, but, you know, at least I'm doing something positive for the community. And I feel like that every time I'm describing a new job, because it's basically the same thing, but it is catered specifically for the arts, which I am so proud of. It just it makes me laugh every time I think about, like, the We Got Y'all. I feel like I work for We Got Y'all. You know, it's actually a program in Marina Del Rey. It's for lower income families, and it teaches kids how to use like professional software to do film, animation, and comic making. And I'm going to be working in the comics class, and I'm so excited about that. I am so happy about it. It just always reminds me of We Got Y'all though. Every time. Also, feel free, if you're like working on your comic, you probably already know this if you've been drawing for any amount of time. I always flip the paper around whenever you're inking. I don't really do this necessarily when I'm just doing the sketch. I like to see it face on. But when you're doing the inking phase, oh yeah, flip it around as much as you need to. Flip it around town. I flip it all over when I'm doing this stage. Just whatever feels comfortable for your hand. It's basically all it's about. Getting it to feel comfortable for your hand. And let's see. I do have to do the details in her face and stuff. I'm going to come back to that. But I'm going to be using a smaller pen, so right now I'm just want to fill in some of the other areas that I'm using the thicker pen for. But let's see. What else could I share about my journey? Is it kind of weird that the mask mandates are over? That has nothing to do with art at all, really, but I don't know how comfortable I feel yet. I mean, I am fully vaccinated since I got my first vaccine in March and the second one in April. So, like, I've been fully vaccinated. I got the Moderna, but I still feel a little bit skeptical. Pero I still feel skeptical I don't know. I mean, I still wear my mask in certain places. Like, I just went to Costco yesterday and I wore my mask. There's a lot of people still wear masks in like grocery stores. So it feels fine in a grocery store because I don't feel like I'm the only one. But is it just me? I feel a little bit weird when I go to like a smaller space and like a hotel lobby or something. For example, I went to a lot of those while I was out of town, and I'm not the only one in the whole building that's wearing a mask, except for like a few of the janitors or whatever, or cleaning staff. Not sure what the proper term for it is, but I feel a little bit like, I don't want to say peer pressure, but kind of like, alright, I know, take off your mask now. I feel a little bit weird. I mean, even though I'm vaccinated, I still like don't know how this whole thing works. So, even at my other job where I've been working at for the last couple months, where I'm teaching painting, I still been wearing it at work. Even though like the mask mandate lifted in California on the 15th, I still feel uncomfortable. I'm not really sure, you know, how protected I feel. I don't want to get even a cold. That's another thing. It's like, I don't even want to get a cold no more. Ever. But seriously, I don't know how it's gonna feel like. I'm a little bit concerned. But like, I just had my orientation for my new job yesterday, and I was like, okay, I don't drive with my mask on. This is just me in the car. But when I got there to the location, I'm like, I'm gonna wear my mask just cause I want to be safe. But then I got to the building, and of course nobody else is wearing their mask, and I'm like, should I? And so I just kind of chin strapped it, you know. I'm like, I guess it's cool. I'm cool with it, you know. I'm vaxxed. You know, everyone's saying vaxxed now. And I get it, I guess, but I don't know how I feel yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. I still am wondering. And then 2 people came in later, and they were wearing their mask, and I felt stupid because I took mine off. And I'm like, oh, you see, I should have just been fine with being the only one with a mask, but of course I wasn't. I like to think I'm an independent thinker, but apparently I'm just a sheep. I don't know. I think I'm varying degrees of independent and sheep. I don't know where I'm at. If there's like a scale of if you're independent thinker or a sheep, then I guess I'm somewhere in the middle. I just don't like to be like too much in the front line. Like, I also consider myself kind of a socialist, but at the same time I don't protest. I don't want to be like calling it out in the middle of the crowd, you know. That's not really me. I'm a little bit more introverted than that. I'm not full introvert, but I'm more introverted than that. And I don't like too much attention, especially if I'm not sure how it's going to be received. Well, you know, I'm a comic book maker, so some cool folk might think I'm nerdy. I remember like a long time ago, this is years ago, when I was still in animation school, and I went on like the speed date thing. I'm married now, but this is long before then. But I went on the speed date, and he's asking me why the guy, he didn't seem like particularly cool himself, was asking me like, oh yeah, well, what do you do? And I was like, I'm in art school. I study animation. He's like, oh, so you're a nerd. And I was like, excuse me. But basically, yeah, he's like, oh, so you're a nerd. I'm like, no. But what if I was? So what? You know? Sticks and stones, a-hole. But I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. Kind of nerdy, but you can't tell I'm a nerd until you start talking to me. I think that's kind of where I lie. Like if you just saw me on the street, you probably would be like, oh, she looks like some kind of tough girl, because, you know, she has all these tattoos and stuff. But once you start talking to me, you realize, oh, she's a nerd. Yeah, she's not scary at all. She's actually kind of wimpy. I don't know. Maybe I am wimpy. I don't think I'm wimpy. I think I'm kind-hearted and soft-spoken. How can you be kind-hearted with an attitude? I don't know. That's what happens when an introvert moves to Brooklyn at a young age, I think. Can be kind-hearted jerk. I guess that's the best way to describe me. She's a kind-hearted jerk. How would you describe yourself? Do you think that you're introverted, extroverted? Jerk tendencies? Huh, Skipper? You're a kind heart. You're a sweetheart. She's a sweet girl. She's a sweet girl. Yes, she is. My cat's hiding, but I found her. I found her hiding spot, which is she's hiding in my cubby. What is it? What is it? What's the matter? Hmm? What's the matter? What's the matter? I told you, I didn't know like how much I'm gonna be able to get done with this little one. She likes attention. She likes attention. So I'm rubbing her with my foot. Alright, what was I talking about? Being a soft-hearted jerk. Yeah. I don't know. Why does anyone subscribe to this channel? Beats me. I have nothing consistent to say. Literally. I'm trying my best, but is my best good enough? Beats me. You need the body? Let me see if she needs to pee. Hold on a second. You need the body? You need the body? Need to go. I don't know what she wants from me. I don't know what she wants from me. Attention! Attention! we need to get like multiple cameras so you guys can see her. She's so cute. She's so cute. But I don't remember what I was talking about now. So distracted. I think I was talking about my channel. Oh gosh, this is not gonna be going well. Oh gosh. Oh, I did want to talk about, I realized that I want to do more painting. I miss painting. And I'm not going to slow down on my comic because I really want to get my work done. But I'm thinking like in between comics, in between my issues, I want to do like some paintings. I want to make some new collections. I want to do the art fair scene again. I just really miss that part of my life. And I'm realizing how, you know, how much faster I think I am painting than I thought I was. Now that I, you know, make paintings at my job every day I'm there, I'm making several paintings, you know. Those are, boy, she's crying again. Oh boy. Let me show you this girl. Come here, Stevie. Come here, Stevie. You want to get Stevie? Ooh. 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 She's such a brat. Isn't she? Isn't she a little brat? Do you hear the little sound she makes? It's like a little pig. The cutest little piggy ever. The cutest little piggy ever. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna go because I gotta take care of this little one, but I will be back, and let me know if you guys have any questions or comments about any part of this. And can you guys see me? Hopefully you can. But I just wanted to still be able to check in, even if it's just for an hour. I do have this new little baby who is always with me now, but I'll be back next week with more drawing, okay guys? So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Say bye-bye, Skippo. Say bye-bye.